Jamie Foxx has been entertaining millions for decades, but away from the spotlight, his family members have kept drifting away. This is the tragic true story of the man born Eric Marlon Bishop. Jamie Foxx's life was riddled with roadblocks pretty much right from the start, as he was abandoned by both of his parents when he was just a baby. But it wasn't a completely tragic origin story, as he did have other people in his life to look after him. As he recalled to O, the Oprah magazine in 2005, "My grandparents adopted me when I was 7 months old. I was never short on the love of a mother and father, though it came from an earlier generation of family. The woman that Foxx calls his grandmother, Estelle Marie Talley, is actually not his biological grandmother, but instead the adoptive mother of his mother. While his parents left him behind, he couldn't help but miss them and hold out hope for them to return." As he recalled, "My mom was so fly and good looking. We were country, but my mom was straight city. She had the new hair, the gold earrings, the Stingray Corvette." However, Foxx had more mixed feelings about his father. As he put it, "Why couldn't he drive 28 miles to check on a son who passed a football more than 1,000 yards? I think some of his absence has to do with his being a Muslim. He drew a line in the sand. I'm a Muslim, and since you're not, I can't be your father." Jamie Foxx always had ambitions to make it big, but his original goals were a little different, as the Texas-bred entertainer hoped to one day play professional football. Specifically, he wanted to be the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and this wasn't a mere pipe dream, as he actually showed plenty of promise on the field back in the day. While playing on the football squad at Terrell High School, Foxx became the first quarterback to pass for more than 1,000 yards in the school's entire history. Ultimately, though, sports stardom just wasn't in the cards, as he wasn't blessed with the right physical dimensions to make it all the way to the pros. Nevertheless, Terrell High made sure that his athletic legacy lived on, and also names their performing arts center after him.
Terrell, baby!
While his football dreams didn't work out, Jamie Foxx still had a bright future ahead of him, which was clear when he attended the United States International University in San Diego on a music scholarship. He was excited about finally leaving behind the racial bigotry of rural Texas, and he hopes that things would be different at college. As he recalled to O, the Oprah magazine, "I'd come from a world where blacks and whites were separated by the town's railroad tracks. But at the university, there were people from 81 different countries." Reality soon came crashing down on him though, as Foxx learned that despite his new diverse surroundings, his race was still going to be a roadblock. He was partially excluded from his college music department because of his skin color. As he revealed to People magazine, "They wouldn't let me go on the stage, but they would let me behind the curtain because there weren't any African Americans in the production, so I would sing in the back, and I would just sing the parts they needed me for." In 2004, Jamie Foxx's grandmother, Estelle Marie Talley, passed away at her home in Terrell, Texas. All of her grandson's memories of her raising him overwhelmed him in the wake of her death. As he recalled to GQ, "I remember those hands wiping tears from my face. Those hands had me stuck at the casket. I was stuck. I couldn't move." Foxx shared a genuine, authentic bond with his grandmother that he doesn't have with too many other people. As he puts it, "If you could go to heaven right now and say, 'Where is Estelle Talley?' do that interview, because that's who knows me, nobody else." While Foxx was really shaken up at the time, in the years since, he's looked back at his experiences with his grandmother with nothing but love. In 2019, he celebrated her birthday on Instagram with an old picture and a caption that read, "My rock, miss you always."
Act like you got some sense is what she would tell me all the time.
While his grandmother's death was heartbreaking, a glimmer of hope came out of it for Foxx, as his father actually showed up at her funeral. After years of absence, he was tentatively testing the waters to rejoin the family. As Foxx recalled to GQ, his dad asked him, "Are you my son? Are you not my son? I want to reconcile, but I'm scared." Foxx then opened his arms and told his father, "You don't have to be scared, it is what it is." Alas, after the funeral, his father disappeared yet again. Still, he remains hopeful. A decade after the funeral, Foxx told the Sunday Times in 2014 that the door remains open for his father, partly in hopes of settling some of the questions that have plagued him for years, like, what happened? Where were you? Were you stricken with something? Could you not make it? While Foxx's biological dad was never around, he was able to find a consistent father figure in the form of his mother's second ex-husband, George Dixon. As Foxx recalled to GQ, "My stepfather's into sports. When I was running track, I'd always be looking for my stepfather. Sometimes he'd stand outside the fence and say, 'Come on, man,' and I'd make it. I'd make the high jump." But in a tragic turn of events that seems almost too cruel to be true, Foxx almost lost his stepfather as well. Dixon was sentenced to 7 years of prison on a drug charge. which was particularly hard on Foxx. He felt like this man whom he'd admired so much had failed him, though he wasn't going to just kick him to the curb. So when he got out of prison, Foxx extended an invitation. As he recalled, "I said, you are gonna live with me. I got his parole changed. I said, I will save your life, because your kids are something special."
Stepfather taught me everything. Taught me how to throw football, basketball. Taught me how to play tennis.
His stepfather isn't the only family member that Jamie Foxx has taken in and forgiven. He revealed during a 2020 appearance on The Graham Norton Show, his relationship with his mother had improved to the point that they've been living together since 2008. Foxx was thankful to have his mom back in his life, but he also admitted that it wasn't an immediate adjustment to wholesome mother-son bonding. The road to reconciliation can be rocky, and there was a lot of his childhood that he still needed to process, as he explained to the Sunday Times in 2014. "We're trying to learn about each other. You realize certain things that you miss when you were growing up, like, oh, I do that because of that." Jamie Foxx has been open about his struggle with substance abuse and its effect on his overall health. This has included drug-induced mental breaks that were bad enough that his family had to intervene. As he recalled in an interview with Hip Hollywood, "When that was happening, I was lucky enough to have people like my sister, like my family, say, 'Yo, you can't go out right now because you're talking crazy.'" In 2005, Foxx was partying hard after being nominated for an Academy Award for Ray. Then, 1 week before the Oscars, he got a call from Oprah Winfrey, who stepped in to set him straight.
She says, all of this gallivanting and all this kind of that's not what you want to do.
Winfrey put together an informal intervention that helped Foxx realize that he needed to take a step back from his reckless lifestyle.
You know, sometimes in the Oscars, the characters that they award, sometimes they're a little fractured.
This is bigger than you.
Yeah, it's way bigger.
On more than one occasion, Jamie Foxx has ruffled a few feathers with tasteless comments and controversial behavior. For example, during a 2009 episode of his radio show, The Foxhole, he'd said about Miley Cyrus, who was 17 at the time, "Make a sex tape and grow up, get some crack in your pipe, catch chlamydia on a bicycle seat." Then in 2015, Foxx introduced Caitlyn Jenner at the iHeartRadio Music Awards, which was around the time that rumors had started to leak about her gender transition. Foxx commented during the ceremony, "He's doing a his and her duet all by himself. Look, I'm just busting your balls, while I still can." Foxx has also come under fire for defending controversial rappers like Kanye West and Chris Brown, as well as mocking deaf people and exhibiting cruel behavior on sets. He's also been accused of sexual assault, a claim that he has denied. Jamie Foxx was always close with his sister, Deandra Dixon. She had Down syndrome and he often served as her caretaker. When people asked him if she was too much of a burden, he would emphatically say no, as he told GQ in 2004. "If I can't take care of my sister who has Down syndrome, what will people think of me sitting up in Mr. Chow, drinking Dom Perignon and doing interviews with GQ? So no, we won't have any of that." In 2020, Foxx took to Instagram to share the tragic news of Dixon's passing. He posted several photos of the two of them together, along with a caption that read in part, "My heart is shattered into a million pieces. My beautiful, loving sister Deandra has transitioned. I say transitioned because she will always be alive. Anyone who knew my sis knew that she was a bright light."
What have you learned from Deandra?
Learn how to live.
For many years, Jamie Foxx's daughter, Corinne Foxx, experienced debilitating pain and nausea during her menstrual cycle. She thought this was normal, as several doctors brushed off her concerns. As she explained to Today, "There's a lot of medical gaslighting that goes into this journey. I think women of color especially are often silenced or not believed when they come in with symptoms." Corinne was eventually diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis, a condition in which abnormal tissue grows outside the uterus, causing extreme discomfort. She even had to undergo surgery in 2018 because the pain was so debilitating. She then became an ambassador for the Endometriosis Foundation of America, as well as an executive producer of Below the Belt, a documentary raising awareness about the condition. After the release of the film, her dad took to Instagram to applaud his daughter for powering through such a severe struggle and making something positive out of it. As he wrote, "So proud of my daughter, please check it out, Below the Belt. You will be blown away by the courage that women possess in this film." Things took a very scary turn for Jamie Foxx on April 12, 2023. Corinne Foxx posted on social media that her father had suffered a medical complication, though she didn't provide any further explanation. A source told CNN that Jamie was hospitalized in Georgia, news that was met with an outpouring of concern from friends and fans. For weeks, the public was in the dark about Foxx's condition, but finally on May 12th, He reassured everyone that he was still alive and kicking, and also to say that he was very touched by everyone's well wishes, as he wrote on his Instagram story, "Appreciate all the love, feeling blessed, see you all soon." Later that year, Foxx returned to Instagram with a video to explain why things were kept under wraps. As he admitted, "I just didn't want you to see me like that, with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was going to make it through." Foxx also cleared up some of the rumors by saying that it wasn't as bad as some people were speculating, although it was still pretty harrowing. As he elaborated, "Some people said I was blind, said I was paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed, but I went to hell and back." If you or anyone you know is struggling with addiction issues, help is available. Visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website or contact SAMHSA's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP 4357.